Whoa! This is almost a repeat of something that's happened before. This is my third time trying to capture this very vlog. First time, Daniel slammed the front door and this camera went tumbling, and the footage that I recorded just had a question mark on it. So I was not able to retrieve that. Then I came out here one day and the neighbor was yelling about her troubles of selling Xanax to a friend named Belinda. And I could not believe how loud it was. And actually, here's some of it. First thing I wanted to talk about, that I've already talked about. So yeah, I could not use that at all. And I tried to continue on, but she went on for another hour. It was a fun day. But here I am today. Same topics, although one gets kind of changed around. I also have a tweet of the week. Actually, I want to go further with that. Let's go ahead and just have a reply of the week too, because I am so damn witty on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you're missing out. Just get this open. All right, this tweet is kind of referencing the fact that Sinbad, the comedian, filed for bankruptcy the second time of his life this last week. What many people don't know is Sinbad has a twin who is actually good with money. His name is Miracle Good. Hashtag corny. And best reply. Rujude was running White People Wednesday again. And this is stuff that white people do and black people don't do. It's kind of a fun little game to play. My entry did not get selected, but still, my entry was not trimming your mustache at the upper lip. If you ever see like a black man, he will just, if you do ever see a black man, take note. He will trim this like a fine line. It must be a lot of upkeep being a black man. You know, the lines and the coconut oil for the ashiness. Just, it seems like a lot of work. They look great and they smell great, but just the maintenance is almost unbearable for me to even think about. Gosh, ashiness. It's hard for me to even get a draw on that thing. Jeez. There we go. Quite good. Let's see the stuff I want to get into that I've been trying to vlog about. Tito Ortiz and Jenna Jameson have had a messy split up. It has a lot to do with custody of their two children, which is really sad. Recently, Jenna has posted some pictures of prescriptions made out to Tito Ortiz that may or may not be steroids. It's hard to tell because they're from a far away shot, but they are definitely syringes involved. And this is after Tito accused her of being drugged out of her mind. So it's almost like they're made for each other. It really is. I mean, when they have equal mud to sling, it's almost like they should just get back together and save the world from finding two separate mates and corrupting them into their level of vileness. But the only thing I really wanted to talk about is the sad thing is in this modern day of age, and when you're keeping a parent from seeing their children, man or female, it's kind of weird because, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Tito Ortiz has an Instagram account that he has linked to his Twitter, and he just shows pictures of his kids a lot. And it almost seems like it's baiting. Like it's baiting the other person, Jenna to say, well, Nana, boo boo, I got the kids, and you don't. Here we are at Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, looky there. They didn't eat just cheese pizza, and just like, well, 3 photos of every stop they make. It's really exploitative in one way, and it's also petty in another. It's just really sick after a while. And a lot of people a lot of people are going against Jenna Jameson because I think there's like a chauvinistic way of thinking against ex-porn stars in the world where, oh, she did this, so she must be really messed up and she was molested as a child. And there is a lot of that, but it's not for everyone, and that doesn't happen with everyone. You just got to go by case, different people or have different things going on in their lives, and you never know, you know, how they resulted in who they are. So I get sick of that. And also, there's also the other side. There's white knights who think, they could get in a woman's good graces by sticking up with her no matter how ridiculous her claims are. So you got both sides of that same token. The thing I just don't like is, how with technology, you can cyber brag and bait with your kids. That's it. That's the title. Tito Ortiz cyber baits with his kids. That's my title. That's perfect. He's baiting Jenna with his kids. Oh yeah, that should be the title. Tito Ortiz cyber baits Jenna Jameson with his kids. That's a headline. God, this thing is stout. So yeah, it's sad we live in this day and age, and the real victim here is the children. Will someone please think of the children? Wendy's is coming out with a pretzel bun. I will no doubt eat that and do a taste test review of it when it does come out. They've said, and there's a lot of speculation around it, they've said it's been one of the best tested products they've ever came out with, the pre-testing. Not going out to the public yet. So I'm actually very excited. Very excited. They're doing the regular kind of, like a double cheeseburger with bacon that everyone's doing to death right now. It's done. That's great. We know. Everyone loves bacon. We get it. Understand. Yes. You don't have to go overboard with it now. Everyone's just hammering it. You can do something simple with that. You got the gimmick of the bun. Just do a simple burger with cheese, lettuce, tomato for you weirdos up there. Mookie Blaylock was in a crash, and it's funny because I originally talked about this story, and I was more on more sticking up for Mookie and just saying our prayers and thoughts are for you, Mookie. But actually, there's a lot of things that are kind of damning to Mookie now. I enjoyed watching Mookie, an Atlanta Hawks fan. I remember there was one season, I believe it was like the 98-99 season, where they actually went to the playoffs and they won a few games, and I was really engaged at that point. It really started my love for basketball as a watcher. I always enjoyed playing it, but they had a great team. They had Steve Smith, all around great player. They had Dikembe Mutombo, this guy. They had, who was a big bust compared to his college days, but they had Christian Laettner, and they had Mookie Blaylock. Those are the 4 I remember the most. So it was a fun team to watch. I mean, they had different things going for them, different attacks, different ways to win games, and I enjoyed watching. And actually, interesting tidbit is that Pearl Jam was such a big fan of Mookie Blaylock that they were going to name an album after him. But he nixed that in the bud. as the story goes, and they just went with his uniform number, which is number 10. So, yeah, there you go. The more you know. I don't think Mookie Blaylock would have the same ring to it as what it became. And, you know, it has this epicness to it, 10 and stuff. Mookie Blaylock, just washed up basketball guy. So, he was in a crash, head-on collision. He was in the wrong lane. He killed a mother and all of her children who were out looking for new places to possibly live. They were just touring homes. And he's been having, they've been blaming a lot. He's been having these weird little seizures and stuff. But also, you know, who knows what the toxicology report will turn up in the system. Yeah, that seems almost like a damage control thing. And even then, if you have these little seizures, I don't think you should be driving. If it's enough to cause you to get in the wrong lane and plow into someone and kill them. But he's doing better. And it's just sad to see all these sports stars get to this point in their life where they're just, let's say, 10 years removed from their career, and it's just all downhill from there. They can't find any kind of footing. They can't do anything better in life. How bad is the major leagues of all sports where they're not learning anything to deal with real life? It must be just like Fantasyland, right? Because what are they getting away with while they're on tenure with these teams that that we're not seeing? I mean, those things. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of cover up now. I mean, because once that kind of force field of damage control disappears, you just hear about nothing but the worst things you ever heard. Like Otis Nixon, former Brave. Of course, he was on cocaine during. He wasn't allowed in the World Series after they found out he was on cocaine during the playoffs. He was trying to set up these fake halfway homes where he accepted money from people, and he would fight. He would tell them he'd fight to get their loved one out of prison and into a halfway home and rehabilitation center. And he promises to people that were the family of a rapist, and they said he could get him out and put him. And he just taking money hand over fist from everybody he could, and he didn't have a house anymore that was legally regulated to do this kind of thing. It used to be, but at one point. But he's just trying to auction off the space that doesn't have any kind of way to do what he promises to do. It's just all a bunch of bullshit is what it is. Just Otis Nixon being a little con artist, and they busted him. It's just all these major league players, and that's just one recent local. You know, throughout life, it's been crazy, batshit insane stuff. And when it's not they're not lashing out at other people, private citizens. It's them destroying themselves. So yeah, it's really sad. Hopefully, Mookie gets better, and I have prayers and thoughts for the people that died in that car crash. The family that has that enormous loss on their hands due to Mookie Blaylock. Started watching this old-timey British television show. There's two versions. There's a newer version, and I'm watching the 1975 one. It's called Survivors. The beginning sequence, I guess, is just this Asian man who spills a vial of some disease, and then afterwards he's infected, and he starts traveling everywhere. And he goes to these different countries. That's the whole beginning sequence. And it's like, oh shit, and it ends up killing about, I don't know, I think they said one out of every 5,000 survived, or something like that, worldwide, which is insane. And it's just about those people trying to survive in what's left of the world. And the core group it's following, it's kind of letting them watch them kind of go around and observe these different groups they're forming. They haven't yet chosen a group where I'm at. They've observed two groups. One group early on was I hate them. It's the governmental group. They want everyone accounted for, every name collected. This other guy is some guy who's kind of like a cult leader. His big thing was we need to get breeding. We need to have the next generation, and he was impregnated all the female followers he had, and he just kept on telling the two girls of the group that we follow as the viewer to promise me one thing. Promise me you'll get pregnant. Get pregnant. It was really funny. It took you by surprise because they suckered you in. You made his commune looked really nice. He looked like he was doing something really cool there. Just like a real peaceful existence and all that jazz. And then it's all about him fucking every female there is and making sure they reproduce by harvest time. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of weird stuff that has escaped my grasp as an American. Yeah, I got more stuff in my mind, more the kind of series I'm thinking about doing. So we'll see how those go. One thing I know I've heard people say they want to hear is a podcast like reviewing a show, and I'm really down for that because I do listen to a lot of podcasts. I probably listen to about 4 or 5 a day. So I'm going to try to get that together. What I'd like to do is first I just talk about how the premise of the show and the people on the show and what they talk about and average length and just talk about that. But then I like to have a cutoff point where I just have clips from their different podcasts playing and just some of my favorite moments. Just go out with a collage. And I wouldn't want to put AdSense on it, but I would put the people's description, their link to their podcast, or where you could download it in the description. And maybe their Twitter addresses. But what I'm looking to do is make sure I get their permission before I do something like that. I don't want to upset anybody. But yeah, I think extra to add extra to it is I'm not making anything off of it. I'm just doing it as a earnest fan here, trying to help promote you and help. It gives me content, but it doesn't make me richer. So it seems like it's coming from a more honest place. So yeah, I'm going to look into that. I mean, there are a few podcasts I've talked before. Well, I know there's certain people that actually answer your tweets. So I may start texting people like Don Barris or Doug Benson because they're really easy to communicate with on Twitter, and they're pretty cool guys. They're awesome. Don Barris does the Big Three podcast and the Ding Dong Show podcast. And Doug Benson does a whole slew of podcasts, but what I'm primarily interested in is his game show, Doug Loves Movies. So yeah, and those are great. There's some great clips from all that content that really have just had me laughing literally out loud, Just, I guess you look like a freak when every once in a while you just break out and are just almost in tears laughing, but it just, a lot of stuff will catch you by surprise and just make you go crazy. And it really helps, if you have a boring job, you're just in the motions, just doing this weird, repetitive motion every day, just all the same stuff, and you can just kind of cut out and go into this other world mentally, and just let your trained mechanical responses take over. And I'm just on cruise control a lot of the times. It's crazy. People will say hey to me or something and snap me out of it and say, oh, hey, whatever. Hey. Really, the perfect way to really get through a day. My perfect scenario is where I get to listen to all my podcasts, but like I work at night, so I don't have to see anybody, so I don't have to interrupt them to make idle chatter. As you can tell, my coworkers love me. No, actually, I hate all my coworkers equally. That's the only way to make it fair. I think we're about done. I'm going to end it like this. I'm going to end it. Goodbye, my Tito Jenna love children.